So I want to get into 9/11 is a prime number. It is the 156th prime number. And 666 in gematria comes to 156. Now, get back into my numbering stuff. So I was the best man in one person's wedding, and that was Trace McGrady, the NBA Hall of Famer's dad, whose name is Trace McGrady. Okay. And his birthday was August 10th. So was our valedictorian. And other people that I know a lot of people with that birthday. But so if you go 8 times 10 times 1961, you get the 156 for Trace McGrady Sr. and the 88. Now, August 10th is the 222nd day of the year. That's 222 code for Eve, because that was the Bible verse where the rib was removed to create Eve. 222, Genesis 2, verse 22. And there's 143 days to go. 222 plus 143 equals 365. And you know how big that 143 number has always been with me. So we get back to what does all that mean? We don't know what anything means, because everything means everything, but nothing has given us the exact day Trump's going down yet, has it? Stuff has told me that 326, not since the wolf full moon have I been really excited about a date. And the 326 date did come up. And of course, a lot of gematria that Michael's done on just the date or what's occurring. There's a ton of gematria coming up for this 326 date. And we know that 666 does come to 156. That does come to Donald John Drumpf. Drumpf, of course, is Trump's surname. The family surname later changed to Trump. Trump was born as a Trump, but he is of the Drumpf bloodline. That's easy to research. I'm not going to do it now. I've done it 1,000 times on here. So the 156th day of the year is June 5th. And that's 9 days away from the super full moon on Trump's birthday. Now, I will tell you, now that that's out of the way, we got that clear, right? So you got Trump's birthday. We have a super full moon. Now there's another, they're back-to-back super full moons on June 14th and July 13th. As I told you, as a rule, it usually backs up a day. So 14th to 13th on the following month. That is a 29-day deal. What's half of 29? Well, 14 and a half. So you add 14 and a half days. That'll put you at June 28th and a half. So June 28th, June 29th is a date that sits in between two supermoons. And we know the staghorns are sitting over Trump's head. And the exit sign gets lit up. And so does the buck rabbit. because you sit there and you look at it. I got it on a super slow speed. And all of a sudden it goes dark. It goes illuminated to the Trump exit and the buck full moon potentially, right? Because the buck is lit. Trump exit, buck lit. So it even darkens even more now and really lightens up. And she is standing for a solar eclipse. Now we have, I guess that's something to look at. So there's 502 days between the two solar eclipses. So that's 251. So you want to add 251. Ooh, boy. Whew. That's the day after. So that goes back to, are you going to include both dates? But that's right at the Sirius, the dog star rising at a full moon on August 11th. So you have Sirius, the dog star rises. Dog days of summer are over on August 11th. There is a sturgeon full moon on August 11th. August 8, 11, 8 times 11, 88. So the day after is, so August 11th, August 12th, you're at that midpoint between two solar eclipses when Sirius, the dog star, is rising. And you have a full moon. So on what amounts to 88. And the reason this date got to me was because I got married on 3/12. 3 times 12 times 1983, which is when I got married on 3/12. And it comes to 713, 88. And it has the 138 in the middle for Trump's name in gematria. We know it comes to 88, and we know it comes to 138. So if we do, I can't remember which one it is. So we know that Trump is the 88. In simple gematria, I think it's Donald J. Trump. Donald Trump. Okay, so it's Donald Trump comes to 138. Yes, in simple gematria. So when I got married, it says Donald Trump, Trump. Well, 7 days later is my stepdaughter's birthday on March 19th. So you got March 12th, add 7 days. You got March 19th. She was born in 1988. 98. She was born in 1998. Times 3 times 19. She has the 138 and the 88. I mean, my marriage thing was 71388, and she has 1388 in the heart of her number. And I love her like a daughter. And we still get along great, even though me and her mom divorced in 2009. She and I are very close. So that the Lord made that happen. I'm glad he did. Very thankful. So her birthday is 7 days later from March 12th when I got married. Not the same year, 15 years apart. 15 years apart. From 83 to 98. Into this year, it would be 24 years later, wouldn't it? Yeah, because she just turned 24. Duh. Okay, yeah. So you got 15-24 combination there. And the first thing that pops in my mind is Matthew 15-24, where Jesus said, I only came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But so I said, well, that's two big sevens that represent my marriages. So that means 326 represents my third marriage. Or Trump getting popped. So I started looking at 326, which is 7 days later. You got 712, 719. I'm sorry. You got 312, 319, 326. Saturday, a Saturday, and a Saturday. So that's how I look at stuff, see stuff, feel stuff. Because my life has always been mathematical, because we can see the Lord is mathematical. Now, so the 156 prime number is 9/11. We already saw that could mean June 5th, the 156th day of this year. We'll be looking for it. But the midpoint between the two supermoons, it says June 28th. Well, my first wife, Obama's birthday, 8 times 4 times 1964. See, my son has a set of parents whose mom's got Obama's birthday and the dad's the year Obama was born, because Obama was 8/4/1961. Well, I was born 1961 and I married, my first wife was 8/4. So we're like that Obama combo as far as my son's concerned. Well, that's her number. 8 times 4 times 1964. There's your 628. Now, my second marriage came to 629. Well, how's that? First wife, October, 10 times 28 times 1973 is 55244. Include stepdaughter, 113886. She's 319. 3 times 19 times 1998 times stepson. You already see the 629 right there for June 29th, the midpoint between the two supermoons. And they're repping my second marriage number, because my first wife and I came to 517. So the next progression is 518. My first wife was 628. The next progression is 629. But let's key in times 2 times 25 times 2001. And you get still the 629 is there, because his number is 10005. So the number wouldn't change that much. And you get that 629 right there, straight up, which is the midpoint between the two supermoons, June 28th and a half. Well, the half puts you over to potentially June 29th. So don't forget that tower fell on June 24th down in Miami on 88th Street. We showed you that yesterday. So we have to look at June 5th. We have to look at June 29th also as dates. June 28th is on a Tuesday. June 29th is on a Wednesday. The train wreck, Adam's family, the train wreck, Wednesday from Adam's family. And then we have to really start looking at August. Text to Trump 88022. You have the 802 in the middle for August 2nd, which is when I sat her down and told her we were going to get a divorce. And we never, I was never able to look back from that point. So that's text to Trump 88022. And I was her 88. I've shown y'all that many times as far as her marriage progression. (88:022). 22 is our divorce date. Groundhog Day. Shown you that many times. Because she was and her first husband. They came to 87 combined, so that's her marriage number, 87, 2 digits, 871, 3 digits. Well, that means when she married me, the next progression is 88. So again, with the 88s and the marriages. This is just the language the Lord gave me. This is not out of any pagan or numerology. Enough. It's out of no book you can buy or any website you can go to. Something the Lord gave me starting when I was a kid, and it just evolved and grew. And has really been ramping up. And I share a lot with Michael as we get near these end times here. But so 88022, everything about my divorce is in text to Trump. 88, I just showed you, rep that marriage, my second marriage. That got 86th, which was the number of the stepdaughter. The 88 being 86th. My stepdaughter had that in her number. The Lord's had everything planned out. Everything was meant to be. The 86ing of the 88. So text to Trump is 88022. 88, my marriage, sat down and declared a divorce at 8:02, August 2nd. The divorce took place on February 2nd, Groundhog Day, 22. Shown y'all that 1,000 times. Been reliving that marriage just like he's been reliving Groundhog Day in that movie until he got right. He went through change after change after change after change until he became pure in an earthly sense. And the Lord's been purifying me. I told y'all that my friend Earl's death, whose number was 2, was all about my divorce, which was all about my salvational process. The Lord has shown me this through numbers. And we're the only channel on earth that teaches the truth in the Bible and understands the end times and who the Antichrist is and how the Antichrist needs to take a deadly wound and what AI is, and so what the mark of the beast is. We don't know everything, but we know more, and we give more and tell more than any other YouTube site or internet site on earth. And that all comes from the Holy Spirit. It's not from any intelligence that I could offer you. I just don't have any special intelligence. but I have wisdom and understanding that the Holy Spirit gives me. If I teach something in the Bible in my TS Daily Bible Study channel, and if I don't understand it, I'll tell you I don't understand it. But if I tell you this is what the deal is, then go with it. God doesn't love everybody. Hell is not eternal torment. That he's ordained the end from the beginning. Man does not have free will to do anything. Everything is chosen and ordained for him. God's declared the end from the beginning. That's Isaiah 46:10. Everything is set. Who the winners will be, who the losers will be. Judgment. Everything is set. Like that 726. G26, agape, God's love for us. So we're just looking at a lot of dates, but we're looking hard at Trump in Georgia. And the way they have this 3-day deal with NATO. And let's get on to some prep with Michael. I came across a photo from somebody. I saw it off Facebook. I'm going back to bed for another century. This is Mother Goddess. This is of the Mother Earth, Mother Goddess, Sophia religion. Look at the very manly face and head. That's basically the Baphomet, which is a man and a woman mixed, which is what Satan is. Lucifer is the female transgendered version of Satan. He is Mother Earth. He is the goddess. Past is prologue. Oliver Stone's movie JFK ends with, what is past is prologue. The phrase is even incised in a stone over the entrance of the National Archives in Washington, D.C. And it was spoken in Shakespeare's The Tempest. Antonio said it in The Tempest. Everything that has taken place in the past is a preparation for the opportunities to come. Well, I came across past as prologue in something. And saw it again. I can't even remember what it was that I saw yesterday, where it was said. I don't know if it's Shaking My Head Productions video, somebody's video. So I went to ask Michael about it. Where did I see it? Oh, maybe it was in my Telling Truth channel. That's where I saw it. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing all right? I didn't even remember where I saw it. It was, I'm telling you, my intelligence is weak. All wisdom comes from the Lord. It's a TV show called 9/11. It airs Saturday, 3/26 at 8 o'clock, between 8 and 9, while Trump will be making a speech that starts around 7 o'clock. The episode is called Past as Prologue. Saturday night. This Saturday night. 9/11. Past is Prologue. What movie had that term? I can't remember, but it ended. JFK said it ended with it. I thought somebody else had said it too. I think it's been said plenty of times. I don't think Michael did gematria on it, but he did give us some gematria. So Harris points to significance of the passage of time 4 times while touching high-speed internet. So Kamala Harris on 321 repeated the phrase significance of the passage of time is what she said. Significance of the passage of time, or the significance of the passage of time. She said it over and over, he said. And that comes to President Trump assassination. Comes to the end of the world as we know it. Because we know when Trump goes down, that's the book of Revelation opening. Now, that's the 66th book in the Bible. Here's my number, 7 times 6 times 1961. Now, times that by this year, 2022. You get the June 5th, which is the 156th day of the year, right there. I also like May 9th. I told y'all that yesterday, and why. But one thing's for sure, the 166 is there. WON, the 66th book of the Bible, fuses in with June 5th and or May 9th, with a 53 fusing them together. My next marriage progression is in this year. My next wife progression is in this year. Remember, first wife was 62. Second wife was 63, or 3 digits. My first wife was 628. Second wife was 629. But 2 digits, that's my next wife. 2 digits, that's my next marriage. Because me and my first wife combined came to 5176, which would evolve to 52 and then to 53. First wife was 628, or 8, which evolves to 63, which evolves to 64. So next marriage, next wife in this year, 2022. And I'm not even dating anybody. But that's okay. May 9th is in here. June 5th is in here, which is day 156. 9/11 is the 156th prime number. AWTR told us to keep an eye on prime numbers. Okay. Well, that's what we're doing. Trump exit, buck full moon lit. I don't know. We know in IPEC GOAT, the whole theme is about the death and resurrection and the programming of the Antichrist. His death is the Day of the Dead. And then it goes through and it shows you his programming. But the whole of everything seems to be about who can make war with a beast, a nuclear explosion, a blast, a war. At his rising or his ascension or something. It's not really his rising. He does rise up in that. And that could be his rising, and this could also be his rising too. So that could be when the blast is taking place. They're just showing you the same thing in a different way. Because remember, Daniel is telling you the same story in different ways. Revelation's telling you the same story in different ways. So I suspect IPEC GOAT is telling you the same story in different ways. There's the right eye. Now, that looks like the world leader where the psychological operation is taking place, doesn't it? Because I think he's repping Trump. I don't know, just sort of look like them. So anyway, one thing I would invite y'all to take a look at, I don't suspect y'all would purchase Showtime to watch it, just like you wouldn't purchase HBO to watch Bill Maher, but Bill Maher will give you the narrative, and the circus will give you the narrative and the propaganda straight from the mouth of the Illuminati, more so than even your daily news channels will. This title is called How Putin is Creating a Rift in the NATO Alliance if Trump is elected in 2024. The nuclear option. Now, I haven't finished watching the show yet. It's only 30 minutes. Bill Maher's an hour. They gave the entire episode of the previous week's last week. There it is, 29 minutes. Season 7 premiere, maybe just because it was the premiere. Here they're just giving you clips. "23 hours ago, 2 hours ago, 1 hour ago."
Now, like Russian.
So, and all these people are actors. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure this person has a title, but anyone with a voice is the actor on the stage. They're all about the Mother Earth, the Mother Goddess, Lucifer. These are Mother Earth Luciferians. Gaia, Isis, Inanna, Ishtar. I can't think of it. Asherah, thank you. Diana, Wonder Woman. I mean, that's what all that is. Lucifer, who is the ghost in the machine. Ephesians 6:12 tells you that your enemies are not flesh and blood. The humans are buying into and following the script given to them by their descended masters that are making contact with them in the technology. And through the technology and of the technology, they are creating the technology which will bring them in and through the mark of the beast, which is nothing more than humans uploading the entities into them as far as total possession when they worship the image of the beast. And all humans, goats, will become superheroes. And like Edward Scissorhands, they will be lopping off heads of sheep at an exponential rate. So Jesus must cut the days of the Antichrist short, or no flesh would be saved, because it was an appointed set of time for the Antichrist that he would reign. But no matter what numbers are out there for that, 3.5 years, 1,260 days, 42 months, there's no reason for Jesus to say, lest I cut those days short, no flesh would be saved. There's no reason for him to say that. Unless all the mathematics, it's there for a mathematical reason. But it's 86th because the Lord says, I cut those days short. It's 3.5 years. $1,260 days. Not even gonna get started on that number. Okay. But the Lord does cut those days short regardless. Now my number for next year, remember my number is 82362 times 2023. It evolves to 666. And it has the 326 for tomorrow's date right there. Well, Saturday's date, excuse me. Remember the year after 9/11, my first wife and I came to 9/11. We suspect the abomination of desolation and 666 is 2023, culminating on the next solar eclipse of Hitler's birthday, April 20th. Me and my ex-wife combined this year come to 2001. That she and I's combined number times this year comes 2001. Remember, it evolves 127, 627, 127, 627, 127, 627. A mathematical anomaly that just we can't explain. But you go back to 2001, she and I mean 2002. And you get 9/11 right there. Are we also given the next 9/11? Because there's June 5th right there. The 86 with June 5th, which is the 156th day of the year. And 9/11 is the 156th prime number. So the year after 9/11, she and I came to 9/11. Well, the year after the potential 326 date, there is a 326 in my number with this year, with next year, I mean. So I don't know. We look at a lot of stuff, man, because there's a lot to look at. October 2nd is always the date that they're giving us for Trump going down, per the movie Donnie Darko and everything in between. If nothing happens to Trump as we get closer to October 2nd, we will be on DEFCON 5 at that point. We'll be on high alert, high watch, because as like we said, it's 200 days exactly away from the total solar eclipse of what we think is the abomination of desolation on April 20th. 201 days if you include October 2nd for event 201. And 201 in reverse is 102 for October 2nd. So that's always ranked number one for us, sure. But they know how we think. They know in advance how we think. Somewhere they're telling us the truth. And everything else is a deception. You see how she and I, for 12, 13 years, we had 626, 126, right in the middle of our number, of our combined number, times the year. And then the year we got married, it evolved to 627, 127, 627, 127. Well, that ends this year, 2022, and next year it begins 628, 128, 628, 128. And it would go on for many years after that, sitting right in the middle. And if you look at our number, There's the 24 or 420 in 2023 for the total solar eclipse of 420. And this year, again, it has a 2001 in our combined number fused with this year, 2022. So I guess I should highlight that. So that's all. That's where we're at. I mean, if we have to wait until the X across America solar eclipse of April 8th, 2024, for Trump to go down, or the book of Revelation to be open because Trump's down, or is that the abomination of desolation? I mean, so Trump might go down April 20th of 2023, and the abomination of desolation is April 8th, 2024. So be it. And that's how long we'll have to wait, huh? But we're watching for stuff right now. Mathematical patterns. Prophecy is pattern. I look at mathematical patterns, patterns of numbers. Prophecy is pattern. Patterns and prophecies, a pattern of prophecy. There it is right there. Prophecy is pattern by Dr. Dan Stolbarger. You don't trust these people as far as you can throw them. But they're telling you the truth. Prophecy is pattern. I guarantee you when the book of Revelation is opened up, there are nothing but mathematical patterns, from numerology to dates, connecting with other dates. The Lord has connected everything mathematically. Guarantee it. He had 14 generations, then 14 generations, and he had 14 generations. He had 42 generations. Perfect. Perfectly perfect. 14 and 14 and 14 generations. Remember, Jesus said, this generation shall not pass till you see the Son of Man return. He was talking about the final generation, which brought him in. "14 generations, 14 generations, and 14 generations." It's in Matthew 1, the 3 sets of 14 generations. Everything is mathematical with the Lord. Everything are sets of numbers. The number of a man God gave us, he said. You even have a book of numbers in the Old Testament. Everything is mathematical. The Lord knows even the amount. The Lord knows the amount of hairs on your head, Bible verse. But even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Do you understand that? You understand that everything is mathematical with God? That God is math, God is numbers. That's why through numbers, he's given me the truth through this whole salvational process. Everything with the Lord is numbers. That's why they bastardize it with things like numerology. or astrology. Don't do numerology. Anything I show you has nothing to do with their numerology. Nothing. Let's take a number like 121 and adding the 1 plus the 2 plus the 1, you get 4. We don't do that here. I said the quote a while ago, and now I can't remember it. Hang on, I'll find it. I think I remember it. This generation shall not pass until you see the Son of Man return. Isn't that what I said? Matthew 24:34. Matthew 24:34, King James Version, Bible Gateway. Really, I say to you, this generation shall not pass till these things be fulfilled. And that generation he's talking about is the final generation. So all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations. And from David unto the carrying away into Babylon, are 14 generations. And from the carrying away into Babylon unto Christ are 14 generations. We're in the final generation. The new covenant, the New Testament, the Jesus Christ generation. Now, the birth of Jesus was on this wise. This generation, it's the generation of the final generation of God's church, the final generation. Everything with God is mathematical. All's Matthew 24 is about is the end times, the abomination of desolation, all of it. He says, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, because the Antichrist is what? Standing in the holy place. 1st, 2nd Thessalonians. Chapter 2. Whoso readeth, let him understand. You'd be shocked at how many people claim to be Jesus, or followers of Jesus, or believers of the Bible that do not understand that the Antichrist is going to be in a third temple. Because to the remnant, to the Jew, it's still a holy place, and they don't get awakened in Christ until the last non-Jewish bloodline, quote unquote, Gentile, or quote, Gentile, unquote, comes to Christ. That last Gentile will come to Christ at the abomination of desolation, then the remnant will be awakened. When? At the abomination of desolation. to the Jew, he is committing abominations in the holy temple. To the Jew, it is still the holy temple. They don't know Christ yet. And every one of them that died not knowing Christ were goats. But this bloodline that's alive today of this remnant, some will be living in Israel. They are not part of that political system over there. That's Luciferian. That's the Mother Earth people. Jesus said, you people that are actually there where it's taking place in Judea, flee to the mountains. Verse 21, it's the Great Tribulation. And he says, except those days be shortened. So that wipes out all of the math, but the math was still established because God is mathematical. And then you got the false Christ and the false prophet. And when you look at that word in the Greek, it's not plural. So it's just false Christ. And that's just false prophet. That's Antichrist. And that's the false prophet who's going to be showing great signs and wonders. The very elect will be holding it. They'll witness it, but they won't be deceived because they're his elect. It's not possible. And then right down here, verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass. The generation Jesus is speaking to, he says, this generation shall not pass till these things be fulfilled. People say, see, Jesus was saying that generation, you know, the people alive back then, before they died, they will witness it. They'll tell you all this has taken place. Well, how stupid. How stupid is that? Because when you combine this with Daniel, it says in the last days. Many days, many parts times in Daniel, it says the last days. All right, anyway, love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.